Hello everybody, and welcome back to our little music bubble. So this is week 4 of our vibrato series together, where we do a little tiny birdie bite. There's your little birdie bite of vibrato for the week. So we have done some little stretches to loosen up our joints. We have done some arm movements. We're starting with the arm because the arm is the very first component of vibrato. Then we can do wrist. Then we can do finger. But we gotta learn the arm first. At least that's how I would suggest. You can do what you want, but that's how we're learning it. And then the third week, we practice letting the finger go flat on the down and up on the squared. We practice letting the finger go flat on the down and on the up squared. So this week, week 4, what we're going to be doing is we're going to practice decreasing this range of motion. So let's start out with our very second step, which was just getting the arm motion. Step 2, right? Step 1 were these things. Step 2 is the arm motion. Step 3 was dropping the finger and letting the finger pull back and roll up. We're not squeezing along any of these. We're just very lightly touching the string, right? Maybe try a different finger. This joint movement is a result of the arm. It's a little mini review together before we do step 4 today. Step 4, we're going to be controlling everything from the arm. So let's go back to first finger. This is our full range of motion with the first finger. So let's cut this in half. Don't come up all the way. Just come up halfway. And if you can do that, let's cut this in half. So just moving a little bit. And if you can do that, let's start to just settle on one point. Let's go to second finger. So find your normal playing position. Let's start with that full range of motion, letting the joint flatten and roll up. And if you can do this, let's start to cut this range in half. So only up to there. And then in half once again. So we're just barely sliding at all. But you can see how my thumb is coming along? I'm going to start to settle in on one place. Maybe apply a teeny bit more weight to the finger. And my thumb starts to settle. My thumb has settled in my normal playing position. And open. And roll back. Open. And up. My finger is along the side here, but it's not squeezing because then I won't go anywhere. Have you ever noticed that really good players, they make it look so easy, right? Because they're not working too hard. So if you are working too hard, you won't be able to move and it won't look very easy, will it? Let's take a mini break and then we'll try the third finger. So this takes a while to learn. If you're not getting it right now, it's because it only took me 25 years to try to play this instrument. So getting it in 30 seconds would be an awesome miracle, and I would be very insanely jealous of you. So just with that in mind, let's continue with the third finger. We're going to start out with that full range of motion. Start to let the joint straighten and roll up. And then we're going to cut this range in half. And then we're going to cut this in half again. So you're just barely sliding around, but you can see the thumb is sliding along. And then when I come up to my up position, my squared position, I'm going to stop moving the thumb and only open the finger. So I haven't started to speed anything up at all. I'm just keeping the same speed just decreasing the range of motion until I settle in on a point. Let's go to fourth finger. So last one, find your position, or find your normal playing position. Arm comes up, arm comes down. And I have my other fingers down because why not? They can just be lazy. Let's not have them fly away. Just make their lives easier. Let them just sit. Wouldn't they rather sit on the string? Let's go halfway up. And you can see how this movement from my arm is popping the joint up and pulling the joint flat. Let's start to settle in on a point. Decrease the distance using the arm here. Your fingers just along for the ride. Sometimes our fingers decide that they're going to have their own personality and they're going to just do their own thing. But their one job is to do this. And the arm is going to move them around. Start to settle in on a point. This is my normal playing position, so my thumb stops here. And I'm pulling the finger back, popping back up. But my thumb is now anchored. Okay, so that is our fourth step for vibrato this week. This is going to take a little bit of time to get, so daily practice would be a great idea. You can even just sit like this and do some little stretches, because really everything that we've been doing so far is all about loosening up the joints of the fingers. Go watch a fabulous violinist or violist play, and you will see that this joint in their vibrato, this last little joint here, is so sensitive to any movement. It's so very sensitive to any tiny movement that they barely have to move to transfer that movement to the finger, because it's so relaxed and it's so responsive. So that's basically what we're trying to do, is we're trying to loosen up those joints for you. All right, so with that, chew on that for a little bit, and I'll see you next week where we do step 5.